It is Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 5, how it has finished at Selhurst Park. Big up to every single one of you for being here. Hit the like and subscribe button. And big up to all of you that watched the watch along. The first one I've done on this channel for a live Premier League game. So I hope you enjoyed it. It went down really well. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch the reactions of all 5 of Arsenal's wonderful goals today. And let's talk about it because they were wonderful in parts, but they were not so wonderful in other parts. We're going to talk about that, the team selection, everybody that I thought played well, individual performances as a team collect today as well. We're going to be talking about Crystal Palace and how they set up. And also, we're going to talk about what this means going forward because there was a bit of a worry for a certain Mr. Bukayo Saka. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you are following the channel. If you do want to become a member, you can click join. I had a couple of members join today as well. So please make sure if you do would like to be a member that you do click the button join. Big up to all of you for being here. Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 5. Let's get into it. Team selection. Let's start there. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not like it. And when it started, I did not like it either. I don't like Kai Havertz in this role. I just don't. But you know what? Mikel Arteta made it quite clear that he was going to take a risk offensively today with the sacrifice potentially defensively. And I think that showed. Our midfield was unbalanced. It didn't look quite right. Partey was asked to do way too much. And in the first 20 minutes, he just got overran. I don't think Havertz was the guy to play alongside Ødegaard because what that allows you to do is Ødegaard to drop very deep, play in more of a double pivot with Partey, which I didn't quite like. And Kai Havertz is just not that guy to play in midfield. Kai Havertz gives you so much more up top as a number 9. He's brilliant as an impact sub. And when he does play in these sort of games as a 9, I quite like it. I didn't like him in midfield at all. But actually, parts of it worked. Going forward, I thought we looked good. Defensively, there was problems, massively. And in the first few minutes, I just felt like every time the ball went through us, we had an open midfield like an envelope. And defensively, we were sloppy. Now, obviously, it helps with the first few minutes going 1-0 up. And to be fair to Gabriel Jesus, who we'll come on to in a minute, fair play to him. But the minute that we got they equalised, I just felt like it could be a we score one more goal than you. Because at the time, everything was open. The whole game was. Now, we were clinical. I'll give you that. Gabriel Jesus, fair play to him with the first goal. And do you know what? It's actually a really good delivery from Saka. So the ball comes up, Gabriel, and who was it? I think it was Gabriel and Mitchell that get tangled, and the ball falls to Gabriel Jesus. Now, Gabriel Jesus at the moment is in form. Why? Because he's just come off the back of a hat-trick. And that confidence, all of a sudden, allows you to be told he's on form. He's only played 2 games. But that's what confidence does in football, right? How many times have you seen individuals that would miss the chances that you knew they should put away when they're under form, when they're not on form, when they have no confidence, when their head's gone down? That's why I'm going to big up and large up to Jesus today, because I felt like he deserved everything that he got. The brace was superb. The hat-trick previously, just 3 days ago, was superb. Wow, he scored 5 goals in 3 days against the same team. We've scored 8 goals in 3 days against Palace. Wow. So, look, I've got to be real. It was a mad sort of 25 minutes because defensively Arsenal were all over the place. I thought the sloppiness in play in midfield was poor. Defensively, mucking around with it at the back. We just gave it to Mateta, who completely fluffed his lines. Had a couple of chances. So I've got to say fair play. The second goal, I've just got to say big up to Jesus, because the layoff from Partey is exquisite, but in terms of like how his spatial awareness. But the first time striking the top bins is sensational from Jesus. And again, confidence player. He's starting to look like the old Gabby Jesus, right? Because he's scoring goals. And that's what we bought him for. Show some consistency, because you haven't been able to score for 25 Premier League games in a row. And now all of a sudden you've scored 5 goals in 4 days. How does that make any sense? Confidence in football is key, right? It's absolutely key. So there were some performances today that I wanted to shout out. And Gabriel Jesus gets my man of the match, because I thought he worked tirelessly. The link-up play was there. He looked sharp. He led from the press. He put the pressure on. His work rate was great. The goals were just the icing on the cake from a good performance. So I've got to say, Jesus, fair play. What's frustrating is we probably won't be needing a striker now in January. That has to be the frustrating part, right? I didn't think we are going to get one anyway, but we certainly won't be getting one now if he continues to score. But you know what? It's what we want. We want him to continue to score. That's what he's about. Squad player. Comes in, delivers. That's what we need in our squad, right? Now, I still don't think that he's quite right for what we need moving forward, but you've just got to big up his performance today and praise it. For me, he was player of the match. Now, the bad news is, with every positive comes a negative. Bukayo Saka goes down. And it looks like he's going to get an injury now. It looks like it's a hamstring injury. It looks like he's going to have a few weeks out. Maybe it's months. I don't know yet. We'll have to find out. Hopefully, it's not a tear. It's just a pull or a strain, and he'll be back for the North London derby. Let him see games out against Ipswich. Don't worry about him for Brentford. Don't worry about him for Brighton. Let's get him fit for the Manchester United and Spurs and Newcastle games. Let's get him fit for those games. Leave him out now. Look, I'm not going to say we've overplayed him because he didn't play midweek. He came on, but he didn't play. So you can't sit there and say that it's the manager's fault now for Saka getting injured, because actually he did have a bit of a break when he got injured last time with England. And this time he didn't get injured through playing too much because he was rested at the weekend, right, in the midweek game. So that is frustrating. That did annoy me. I'm honestly annoyed that Bukayo Saka is going to be out. And it looks like he will be out for a few weeks from what people are saying and the way that he went off. So hopefully he gets assessed and it's not so bad. But then something amazing happened. Something I did not expect. Trossard come on, which I expected. And he went to the left. And I thought, where's that leave Martinelli then? Is he going to go through the middle with Jesus wide? No. Martinelli went to the right. And I thought he was good. I thought he was good, guys. Now, I've seen him deliver some crosses. And I've seen him get past his man. And I've seen him beat players. I haven't seen him cutting inside the whole time. Sometimes I wanted to see this switch. But my goodness, I thought he played really well. I've got to say it. I thought he was good. Now, Martinelli had the tenacity and the passion and drive and desire that I've always seen him have. The work rate's never been questioned. But actually, he was controlling the ball better, going forward, passing, man, actually delivering crosses, cutting inside, but actually delivering passes, not just cutting inside and out, and trying to get, do up with a pretzel and not get anywhere with the ball. I was quite impressed. Right wing suited him. I thought it was a good game fight by him. And the second half performance looked good as well. So, yeah, I was a fan. Look, to top off the first half performance, it's really good play from Gabriel Martinelli. It's really good play. And Gabriel Martinelli delivers across. And if I'm honest with you, just before that, Gabriel hits the bar with a header. So we were a threat, but open play goals were starting to come. We started to look a little bit better. And then the delivery from Martinelli is superb. The way that he goes down the right and he actually beats Tariq Mitchell, he just about keeps it on and he dinks it. And then it goes to Jesus, who, by the way, should have had a hat-trick and could have had a hat-trick. And then it comes off the post and Havertz is there. So Martinelli deserves credit. Jesus, great leap. And then a fantastic goal, well-worked goal for Havertz to make it 3-1. And then I'm like, look, see this game out to halftime, then make some changes. And then the second half starts and there's still no balance in the midfield. I do not like Havertz in that position. And what's frustrating is because we've won the game and we've scored goals, he'll probably want to do it again. But then at 57 minutes, I actually really, really loved what Mikel Arteta did because he made changes early. So do you know what, Mikel? Fair play. Fair bloody play. Because the amount of times I've seen Mikel Arteta looking and staring at stuff, just waiting for it to get better, being stubborn, pure stubbornness by going, yep, no, it will work eventually. It was not working in midfield. So what did he do? He brought on Declan Rice. And he made two changes, in fact. He made a double change, which I was really, really impressed to see. Bringing on Declan Rice and Calafiori gave us that left-hand side balance that I think we were not really getting. Miles Lewis-Skelly, fair play to him. I didn't think he did a lot wrong. Really comfortable on the ball, by the way. Loves inverting, loves driving in forward inside. But you know what? I thought it was a really good couple of subs. And Declan Rice, wow. He was close to being my player of the match. The way he came on with his energy and delivery and drive was just sensational, if I'm honest with you. And the way that he drives forward, the way that he pushes that ball forward and pushes us forward at times is great to see. And what I liked about his role was it wasn't actually in the left 8. He was more of a box-to-box midfielder, but definitely more in a double pivot with Partey. And I liked that. I liked that a lot. I thought it worked. It allowed Ødegaard to spray more forward. I thought he's definitely played a part in today's game in terms of how much he had on the ball and the time he had on the ball to deliver. I really felt like that was a wise substitute, and it was one that was needed. And I felt maybe Marino or Rice would have come on. Now, actually, I said bring on Marino because I didn't know how fit Rice was, but Rice was certainly fit. And do you know what? He looked absolutely brilliant. And he starts in the next game for me. Absolutely superb. And if it's the next game and we still want to play Jesus, I think the front three now will be Havertz, Jesus, and Martinelli. But actually, when you look at it, I would play Rice and Partey in a double pivot and Ødegaard in that 10. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be dropping Havertz in midfield now. I think because of Saka's injury, we'll probably find that he's probably going to go with Havertz through the middle and Jesus and Martinelli. I don't think he'll go Jesus, Trossard, Havertz, Martinelli. I don't think he will, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So look, we're in a position we get into half time, the subs come on, and I think change the game. And then what happens all of a sudden? We start to look dangerous again. We start to look dangerous, and I don't quite know how, but Jesus misses his opportunity for yet another hat-trick. He's hit the bar, he's hit the crossbar, he scored 2 goals, he's dying to get another hat-trick, and he misses the chance. Now, it actually does get saved, and it comes out again to Rice, who does have a shot, and Martinelli is there to guide it home, and he is onside. I actually thought Trossard's ball across to Jesus, he might have just been offside, but actually he wasn't. The ball from Gabriel, by the way, is absolutely outstanding to Trossard. Superb on that left-hand side from him with that pass through to Trossard. It's absolutely superb. It's a brilliant, brilliant ball. And then he puts the ball across. And if I'm honest with it, I've got to say, it's really kind of interesting for me to see Rice's performance when he's come on, because I haven't been a fan of him in that number 8 position. I haven't, because he was different and he was a lot more box to box. Then he did actually go to the 6 in the end. I just thought it was a really good performance from him. And I think he was close to being player of the match. If it wasn't for Jesus being all-round play and getting the goals, I think Rice was probably right there. The other player I have to big up is Raya, because David Raya was brilliant. Let's just have it right. Everything that he did. There was one bit of movement at the back with Saliba where he got confused at the start. But other than that, he was really impressive, and saves that he kept us in it, to be honest with you. Saved from Mateta, Sarr, a couple more, I think, in the game that he come and collected. He was very, very commanding. Thought he was excellent, if I'm honest. Thought he was excellent. So he deserves a mention. Jesus deserves a mention, and Rice deserves a mention. And then Rice gets the goal to make it 5. It was a really good goal. It was absolutely superb. It was a brilliant first touch. And then, boom, bottom corner. I absolutely loved Declan Rice's performance, and I topped it off with a goal. Thought he was outstanding. So really impressed with him, and it goes to number 5. Look, some of the subs that came on, he brought on Waneri, he brought on Marino. We went Partey at right back, and then it was either Waneri or Martinelli through the middle. They kept switching it. I kept seeing Martinelli central, then I saw Waneri go wide, and then like vice versa. I quite liked that because they were changing something and making something a little bit different. I quite liked that when Jesus came off, and then it was like, so Havertz and Jesus are both off. Who's our striker now? Looked like it was Martinelli and Ethan that were kind of switching, chopping and changing it a bit. So look, big fan. Big fan of what we saw in the second half. And I thought Mikel Arteta got it spot on in that substitution. And I think the team just looked completely balanced. We got our shape back. We looked better in midfield. We could get control of the ball. We could drive it forward. We could start to spray it forward. We could start to talk about how we were looking defensively more resolute and solid again and compact. And although Palace had 4 chances as well, we never really looked as vulnerable as we did in the first half, if I'm honest with you. So, look, I think it gets to a stage where Palace were quite good on the ball until the final third. Defensively, I thought they were pretty poor, if I'm honest with you. I did. So, I got to say, it's just one of those, that I look at and think that we can play like this, but not consistently. We see today, really good performance in the second half. But then we see against Everton and Fulham that we're quite disappointing in front of goal. So look, I've got to say, big fan of the second half. Excellent performance from Jesus. Superb substitution with Rice coming on. And now let's go through the team. Look, Raya deserves a mention, as I already have. I think he's kept us in the game in parts of the game. I thought it was an excellent performance from him. Really good saves, world-class saves in parts. And I think he's been an excellent component for us this season. I think he's been one of our best players and certainly one of the most consistent players. So he deserves a lot of credit. Timber, very good at right back. I think he's a player now who's just definitely a given for that position for me. I know Ben White's going to come back and start to threaten, and there will be times where he has to be asked to go and play on the left back. But for me, I think he's the best right back at the club now. I really do. I've seen enough to know that he's great. And I know he wasn't great against Everton, but it's the only game he's had that's bad, actually, in the whole of the time I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt. So I have to say, really impressed with Jurriën Timber. Lewis Skelly, fair play, my bro. Do you know why I like him? Because he doesn't panic on the ball. He looks casual. He looks confident. He looks like he's got no fear. He's fearless with the ball, but driving forward as well as defensively resolute. I think he's a good player. Yeah, he might have turned into a bit of trouble at times, but he had players around him to get him out of it. Gabriel and Saliba, I have to say, wow. The first few minutes, it didn't look great, did it? Saliba was giving the ball away. It was sloppy. It's one of the reasons that Mateta went through and missed. Raya had to come out, pull out some good saves. There was a little bit of lack of telepathy and understanding with the communication. Gabriel, likewise, was just passing it and it was just not looking good. But then things picked up for the pair of them. And I think, you can always rely on Saliba. And Gabriel, I thought, really grew into the game. It was a hell of a lot better. Midfield, Thomas Partey. I mean, I was like, wow, you might need to hang your head in shame here in the first 20 minutes. But then you look at it tactically, and there was no reason that there was no wonder why he was getting quite a lot of pressure put on him because he was literally on his own in there. Havertz was up the pitch, like talking to Gabriel Jesus, and Erdegaard didn't know whether to drop deep or to try and help the attack. So I actually felt quite sorry, to be honest, for Thomas Partey. I didn't think there was any need for him to be that isolated, but he was, and then he couldn't catch up. Him and Kai Havertz are trotting, and Sarr walks his through our midfield and scores. So Thomas Partey, other than that, I actually think he picked up his performances after that. And I thought 25, 30 minutes, it looked a little bit sloppy from him in possession. I thought he gave away the ball quite a bit. I don't think there was anything that looked like he had any legs to get back, let alone passion or desire or drive. So I thought there was good parts of his game and bad parts of his game, but he did really grow into it. Went to right back as well, and to be fair, played really well. Sometimes we forget when Partey plays well at right back, we don't ever talk about it because we don't want to see him at right back. So I think it's harsh, really. We've got to be realistic about it. Thomas Partey, I don't think himself wants to play right back. When he does and he plays well, we have to say fair play. We really do. People, we've got nowhere near enough likes. We've only got 87. There's over 300 in here. We should have 200 likes. Come on, people. Make sure you hit the like button. I can't believe that people are not liking the content. Hit like and subscribe. It's simple. We're getting close to 30K, and I believe in you. So let's hit the like and subscribe, people. Let's go. Look, I'll be real. I will be real. Other than that, midfield disaster, we looked a hell of a lot better when the subs come on. I'm not going to give Havertz and Erdegaard a bad time because actually on the ball, Erdegaard's very good and Havertz does cause havoc. But I just can't stand him in that position because moving forward, it was fine attack-minded, but we had absolutely no thought or mindset of even coming back and trying to get any form of defence mind going. So there was no real understanding of what the balance in midfield was. There was no transition in midfield. We had no control of that midfield. If I'm honest with you, for most of the first half until Rice came on in the 57th minute. So it wasn't great from our midfielders. And I don't think there was much spatial awareness. I don't think there was much intelligence played. But Kai Havertz things in the final third. And to be fair, when you're going that way, that's what you want from Kai Havertz. He was there, right place, right time. And he did have a bit of a strange game. I don't quite know where he was supposed to be playing at times. I'm not quite sure where Erdegaard was supposed to be going, but those with a tactical head on more than me will do. And I think Mikel Arteta sacrificed defence tonight to go all out to try and score goals. And you know what? It worked. We got 5. So fair play. And the subs were brilliant. Really good. Really, really good, in fact. So Mikel deserves credit today. He really does. And it's time to be real and praise Mikel when he deserves to be praised. Because I definitely criticise him when he deserves to be criticised. And trust me, he does need to be. In games against Everton and Fulham, I think he needed to be crucified for that. But when it comes criticised for it, crucified, that's a bit extreme. Criticised for that. When it comes to the praise, I think he deserves praise today. Thought he got it right. Now, he's quite lucky in parts because Crystal Palace let us out of jail a few times. Defensively, we got caught. But I think the early goal really helped. Really, really helped. And it opened up the game because Palace were quite happy to sit in that low block and use the blueprint of Everton and Fulham, but they weren't able to because we got the early goal, which is so key. And again, big up to Jesus for that because his confidence at the moment is looking sky high in these last few days. Let's hope that continues. So Kai Havertz, he gets the goal, but he comes off, so fair play. Ødegaard, he has to go back into that creative role when you've got Partey and Rice there. Partey didn't go to right back, and Marino and Ethan Nwaneri come on, and Ødegaard was still allowed to them deliver. Look, I think when Trossard come on, it was an interesting one. There's a lot that I like about him technically, but sometimes he holds onto the ball way too long. And when you need that split pass, is the complete opposite to Martinelli. Martinelli, I always fancy he's going to get there with his pace, and I always fancy he's going to find the right pass. Some problems with Martinelli is actually he's not got the confidence to go take it on. Trossard, he seems to like, I'm going to take a man on, now I'm going to come back. Now I'm going to cut inside, now I'm going to cut back in. And it's like, you're not getting anywhere. You need to pass it, deliver it, or you need to just take your man on, get you past your man, and then thread it through. And I don't think he was doing enough of that today. So I don't know. I wasn't massively impressed, but it wasn't a shocking game from Trossard. Jesus, again, player of the match. The one that I thought deserved to get a mention. I thought he was excellent and was the other night as well. So what does this mean? Well, at the moment, we're 3 points behind Liverpool, but they've got 2 games in hand, so they can go 9 points clear. But we've got the points on the board at the moment. If they do slip up in both those games, let's say they draw 2, well, we're 5 points then, aren't we? So 5 points is what we want to be trying to look at. Yeah, we want to try and get to January, February, and be around about 4 or 5 points behind them, because then I fancy us. If we're 9 or 12 or more, that's going to be just job done. So I'm not bothered about the title race just yet. I'm obviously interested in seeing what Liverpool and Chelsea do. I think that's going to be key. I think Forest today looking pretty good as well. Newcastle and Villa look like they're playing well at the moment. So at the moment, it's looking very close around that time. I don't think that them teams are all going to be in a title race, by the way. But I'm just making it clear that this Premier League table is very close. And there's not many points between second or third place and like 13th. It's crazy. So we have to be realistic. We'll go and enjoy the football tomorrow. Liverpool have got Tottenham. I think Chelsea have got Everton. So let's see what games happen there. Manchester City, by the way, wow. What has happened to them? I don't even see them now as competitors. The way they're playing it is so bad that I think we will actually outjump them by quite some distance this season, unless things change in January. And that's where I want to close. January is massively important for every single one of these clubs that believe they're in a title race. Chelsea are a goalkeeper, a centre-back and a striker away from competing. Liverpool are already competing, but I feel are a left-back, a centre-back and a defensive midfielder away. Maybe a striker, but I do believe that they score enough goals. And Arsenal are a midfielder and an attacker away from having a right good go. That's what I believe. If we got a proper midfielder and a proper striker, we'd have a great chance. Now that Havertz and Jesus have proved we can score, now Martinelli has got back on the score sheet, now that Saka's out, and that Trossard is coming in, Nwaneri is now on the scene, Ødegaard is now back, it does not mean we do not need a striker, people. It means we need an attacker. And we need to get somebody. Now, Osimhen and Gyökeres have got release clauses, so maybe there's an option there. Marmoush has been mentioned from Frankfurt. Maybe that's an opportunity. Some people want João Pedro. Some people want Cunha. Some people want Brian Mbeumo. Some people want Ademola Lookman. There's so many names being floated around here, right? All I know is we're not going to get Isak, and we're not going to go and get Florian Wirtz. We're not going to go and get Bruno Guimaraes or Frankie de Jong. So who is it that people want? That's what I need to know. Get going in January, we might have a chance. And big up to Che Talia, who says exactly that. More than half of the season is left. Get going in January. And you know what? Man City will say that. Liverpool will say that. Man United will say that. Chelsea will say that. So Arsenal need to. We have to go and do something in January. We have to do business. So let's pray that we can get something in January. Thick and fast, these games are coming. Ipswich Town at home next. It will be a good game. They've just lost 5-0 to Newcastle. Played terribly, apparently. So hopefully that's killed their confidence and we can get 3 points. I like Ipswich and I want them to stay up. But we need to beat them. We need to beat them on the 27th. That's what's got to happen now. And then we go on a run of games. Now, Saka might be out for a few of them. Ipswich, Brentford, Brighton. We've got Spurs and Villa that are going to be coming up after that. Man United and Newcastle in cups. We're going to need Saka. And we're going to need all of them fit. So let's hope that we don't get any problems. Sterling got a knock today. Tomiyasu's still out. Zinchenko's still out, but should be back very soon. And obviously Ben White is out. Now we've got to add Saka to that list as well. Let's hope that it ain't too bad. and that he will be back in a couple of weeks. Big ups to every single one of you guys. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for interaction. And thank you so much for enjoying the watch along and for supporting and taking part in it. I really do appreciate that. With people like AFTV, Lee, Curtis, Troops, myself, it's very, very difficult for you to watch every single one of us. So I really do appreciate those that did tune in and those that have watched on catch up. So make sure you go and enjoy the coverage of that. Make sure you go and enjoy my celebrations, which was a little bit over the top, I think. Now I do get well into it and maybe a little bit over emotional, but there we go. So that's what I would like to say as a huge thank you to that. And a huge thank you to Michael as well, who's just said, does Haaland need to eat some humble pie? Stay humble, eh? Stay humble. What a way to end it. Manchester City, stay humble. Arsenal, congratulations. 5-1 against Palace. We move now. A double win. 8 goals in 3 days against Palace. Still in the cup. Going into the semi-finals against Newcastle. Obviously, the FA Cup games start with Manchester United in a few weeks' time. And we are in the Champions League and Premier League group of 3rd place position. So let's hope that we do get across the line. Take it easy, people. We're out of here. Big up to every single one of you. Do you know what, actually? Someone in the chat tell me who's live and I'll go and raid them. Someone in the chat tell me who's live. We've got about 300 of you here that we can send somewhere. Where do you want to go? Let me know where you want to go. Who's live at the moment? And we can talk about sending you across there. Where are we? Where are we? Who's live at the moment? Northside. Sweet. Northside is live. Let's send you over there, people. Go show him some love. Say 12th man raid or damn pot sent me, whatever you want to put in your description for him. And go big him up, man. He's a good lad. He does a lot for the channel as well. So make sure you go and say hello to Northside. Where are we? Northside. Come on. It's taking for absolute ever, my computer, which is never good. There he is. Right. You're done. Go raid him. We're out of here, people. Take it easy. Big up to all of you. Smash a like. Go say 12th man raid or damn pot sent me over at Northside's channel. We'll see you next time. Big up, people. Up the Arsenal.